Hello, listeners. This is once again Shailesh coming on this New Zealand World News Positive, bringing you an episode which is very much interested of most of the people because it's all about money. So we are talking money, but let's not get into straight away excited about money because this is a topic that we are going to bring with a complete different dimension where how do we see money and what money is all about and why we want to talk about money. So today we have got a very esteemed guest today and a speaker who is not just a speaker but who is an author, a speaker and a coach and about all walks of human journey. Now, this is where we want to make a little bit of difference in terms of when a person of that caliber comes in and wants to talk about a topic which is very close to everyone, particularly human journey is all about in today's world become a money or addicted or infected, whatever you call it, but it's a money syndrome. So the topic today is money syndrome. And we are going to have a dialogue and an interactive session. And you are more than welcome to ask questions when we publish this. And you are happy to give your feedback also around that if you have any questions. But let's talk about Lynette. Lynette is absolutely delightful. Welcome, Lynette, in my show for this particular episode. And in terms of money syndrome, you are an author, you are a coach, and you are a speaker and a motivational or normal speaker, but you are a speaker from the heart and also from your own experiences, which is what makes this show more exciting because you are not talking something from taking a leaf out of some other's book, but you are your own book writer. So that makes more exciting for me to introduce you to all the audiences. And money syndrome is absolutely why money syndrome is a good question. Like, why do we want to talk about money? Because after COVID and before COVID, but after COVID, more everything is talking about is short of money and more not opportunities to earn money and not having more options of money savings or what will happen to if we don't have money. All that fear, all that anxiety, all that anxiousness about money is so overwhelmed currently with everyone that it makes me to definitely make this topic as a priority and give a little insights and let's talk about it and understand from Lynette what really money is all about. So over to Lynette. Let me first, as I said, she's herself an author. She's written a book and she's also talks about a lot of other topics in the human journey. So over to Lynette. Welcome, Lynette, once again on this show and to talk about this brilliant and more exciting and more fun, or you can call it more serious, anxious, fearful, fearless, whatever. You can name different names to money because money itself is a name that. So let me understand first why money and what is money really. Why do we want to talk about money? And why it's so important to talk about money and make understand or understand the insights about money. Tell us something about that.
Okay, so I do believe um, that money is the currency that we use at the moment to pay for goods and services and to live our lives.
Mhm.
Um, so with that, a lot of people put a lot of value into money,
Mhm.
like their own self worth and also other people's worth into how much they earn.
Yeah. So let's decode. Let's once go one step back. Why money was generated, or why value, why there is a money, why do we have a money in the first instance? Yes, as you rightly said, we want to buy goods, we want to buy services, and so we need money. But in reality, in good old days, we used to say that there was a barter system. So money was not that important, but barter system was important, like exchange. Now, exchange can be in the same currency, exchange can be same kind of goods, but that was an exchange, and that was the value of exchange that people wanted. But now that exchange value has become money. And coming from myself into the finance business background that I deal with. And so all of a sudden, we have come to a world where money, whether it is paper money, whether it is coins, whether it is metal, or whether it is plastic cards, everything in today's world is all embedded in money, is embedded in plastic cards. All the credit cards, debit cards, they are all cards, they are all plastic, but money is there in it. And then coins, the money is there in it. And then the paper, which is also money. So in the first place, as I said, like, let's go back a little bit and see why do we, how did we get to this far where we started giving more importance to money? I know you are not an historian to understand the money. However, in your view, that when you became your awareness that, okay, all of a sudden, as a child, as a grown up, that we gave importance to money and
Yes.
people started. But in today's world, there is more importance than anything to money. Is that fair to say that, Lynette?
Yes, it is fair to say that.
Mm,
So I grew up with money being around in it, and I actually wish that I hadn't, because
mm,
I would love to have experienced,
mm,
the era where we used, exchange of services or exchange of goods for
yeah,
services rather than money, because
mm,
money brings greed.
sure. Yeah, money definitely brings greed. Yeah, that's for sure. Because it is like more like an addiction, I would say, rather than using the word greed. But greed is there to
Mm,
increase the value or to increase the quantity of the money. So we always talk about quantity and we always talk about quality and we always talk about value. So money in terms of quantity, that's where the greed comes in, or that's where the addiction comes, because they want more and more. Is it because they can hold it? Is it because they can put it in somewhere in the banks, in the lockers and everything physically, and also into properties and assets? The money is tied in there. So wherever we see there is a money, but we accumulate money and we want to more accumulate because there is an option to accumulate. There is an option to put it somewhere, right?
yes.
So tell us something about that. That is this greed or is this addiction to increase more or to have more?
I think to have more is it's an addiction,
Mm.
okay? Because we don't need a lot of
Yeah.
money to survive, but we do need some.
That's where my next question would be. So if we don't need more or if we don't need X amount, how much is enough or how much is not enough is always a challenging for individual to individual. And that's where, according to your experiences, what would you say that there?
I think we need enough to cover our living expenses,
Mhm,
our food, our clothes, maybe a little bit of entertainment,
mhm.
um, our utilities, rent or bills or whatever else.
Yeah,
But as far as needing, wads and wads of it to
yeah.
show that you're important and that you have value,
Mm.
we don't really need that.
Do you think money is like a sickness, or do you think money is just an extra additions um, that we need? Attachments, like attachments, like we want attachments. Is money also like an attached ingredient or a attached product?
I
According.
I do think that a lot of people have attachments to money
Mm.
because it's the way that they feel when they have the money,
Mm.
um, which gets them
Right.
addicted.
Mm. It's just the feeling, the sense of feeling, isn't it? When you
Yes.
get something out of it, that, okay, you get that joy or you get that moment of enjoyment that resonate with most of the humans. However, my thing and my question to you is like, okay, it's good to have money.
Hmm.
We don't know how much money we want, but it's enough, as you said rightly, to cover certain basic aspects of our living expenses, which is inevitable. And it has been designated and designed into different areas and different locations and different where you live and where you stay and what you do and how you live your lifestyle and what's your choice of life and all that stuff. Accordingly, the money actually grows or money is needed more. So one person may need money less, but one person may need more. But is it because of the surroundings and environment, or is it because inside thoughts of a human choices that they want? How do you define that in
I
your?
think I think money gives you choices,
Hmm, yeah.
and with those choices um, also comes the decisions that you make.
Hmm,
So
yeah.
if you have multiple choices, that means you're not so limited to the lifestyle that you have right now.
Mm-hmm,
You can change that lifestyle like that.
mm-hmm,
And
yeah,
so people look at money as something that can give their life value and meaning and options so that
yeah.
they can enjoy their life.
Mm. But isn't it that, as you said, like the mindset or the choices have have given birth also when it comes to money, according to me, because of these choices that we have when we have money, the money choices also have given birth to some of the strongest restrictions, or we call it more like, I would say, bluntly, as scammers or the scams, because they know that money can do this thing. So let's becomes there are more birth given for people's mind in their mind to scam people rather than saying that I need this money for my own um, from my own what do you call it, how do I put it, is I want to work hard for money. I want to work and I want to put my efforts in making money. But rather than that, it has given birth, because I want money, whether this way or that way, I want money. So
Mm-hmm.
then the scams, birth of scams comes into place. So then the scammers are born because they are only looking at accumulating money. They are only looking at the choices that money can bring to them. So they just want money, whether they work hard or they don't work hard, or whether they use their brain or they don't use their brain, but they just want the money. So, in your world, when you see and when I look at today, all the scams, all the types of scams are all evolved and revolved around money. So, what would
Yes.
you say on that?
Yes, that's correct. A lot of the scams they do involve money. There
Mm,
are many different types of scams, and I also it depend. There are different circumstances for why people actually scam other people. For example, some do it because they want more money and because they want to take a shortcut and they don't actually want to work hard for their money.
mhm,
And others have circumstances where, they're poor and therefore they want money, but they want to get money fast. So rather than working hard
mm,
to to
yeah,
secure a job and to get money coming in, they think that you know a quick fix is
a
to
quick
actually
fix. Yeah.
yes, a quick fix is to actually scam someone out
Mm,
of their hard-earned cash,
mm,
so that they had the money sooner.
yeah. So, coming back to my next then question would be, is money, after getting money, everybody wants money. But then just like we have got in our, I always say in our bloodstream or in our body, we have got, they say, or you have got good cholesterol and bad cholesterol. So I would like to ask you, is there something called good money and bad money?
Um,
Or do you call it money as money and just say that, okay, as some people want to have shortcuts and quick fix, is that a good way of earning money? Or is that a bad way of earning money?
okay, so money is just money, right?
Money, correct.
But
Yeah.
a quick fix
Mm,
is that's actually a bad way of earning money because
mm.
it's not actually really earning it, is it? It's
No,
basically getting what you can off someone else by
someone else.
promising them
Mm,
goods or services which you won't deliver.
mm. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah. So because there is, as we say, like good or bad to value money over everything else. What would you say? Like, good or bad to value money over everything else? Like, is it the best way or the best practice for a human? Or is it something that you would say that, okay, you have to always like testify yourself and judge yourself whether we want this way or that way over everything else, because you can compromise. Money doesn't fix everything. Money doesn't do everything good or doesn't do everything bad. However, there is always a balance of what you do and what you do. Sometimes some people don't want money, but they just want them as their present rather
Yeah.
than their money. So, how would you say on that?
Valuing money over everything else is a bad thing because what you should be valuing over everything else is your health
Mm,
and
mm,
well-being and other people's health and well-being.
mm,
When money comes into the picture and people value that over the top of, you know, your health and well-being,
mm.
then what you'll find is you may have a lot of money, but you won't be enjoying it because your health is suffering.
Yeah, true. And what effect has COVID shown us about this differentiation, about this justifying, about this money that we are has taken over? So everybody was talking about health during COVID
Yeah.
rather than earning money, because they could not earn money anyway, and it was all restricted. It was all locked down. So the more important was health. Are we going to survive in that lockdown period rather than earn money in that period?
Um, I beg to differ a little bit with that because
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact, through speaking to um, banks and so forth, that
Yeah,
scams have been on the rise
right.
throughout COVID.
Mm.
Um, I've throughout COVID, I think I've hit one, two,
Mm-hmm.
three scams throughout COVID
Wow.
already, which I've had to try
Mm.
and get my money back from.
Mm. So, which means circumstances, situations did not really matter much, as the money scammers, they kept on scamming.
Yes,
And
and they
whatever
got
little money had people, they also lost that little money as well, some people,
yeah.
isn't it? Mm.
I think the scammers actually got smarter during COVID because they had a lot more time on their hands to be able to get smarter and to work out what people will actually respond to and what people will, buy.
Right, right. That's true. So my next question would be, next, I also felt that, why people are in my field of finance and accounting and taxation and business, particularly entrepreneurs and all that, why do they associate their success with money over other people's success also with amount of money? So whether their success or their association with their own or other people's success is all about money. Why do they, why do humans really feel that your success and my success is all depends on money? Because to me, my success could be different, but then
Yeah.
because their mindset is such, they associate such. So everybody is like tangled into or brought into this money aspect. So people who are may not be giving importance to money that much, but their associations or their associates are giving, so they are automatically drawn into that money kind of syndrome,
I
basically.
I think it's because the media actually blow up the fact that, this person has X amount of money, this person's a billionaire, this person then has authority
Mm,
because, because they have all that money.
sure.
And that's actually not the way to look at it, because whether you're successful or not does not rely on money and how
Mm,
much money you have. Whether you're successful is how you handle the ups and downs of life,
mm,
where you're at in life, whether you are happy in life. That is true success, not the fact that you have billions of dollars in the bank
mm,
and that you're flying all around the world doing XYZ and you're giving, I don't know, XYZ amount of money to charity.
mm,
That's not what success is about.
mm,
I think we put too much of our own self worth
mhm,
into having money.
mm. Yeah. You're right. I mean, happiness, but some people say, or most, some of the conclusions is that human mind says, I am happy because I have money, or I will be happy because when I have the money. So until I don't have money, then I'm not happy. I'm always looking for that money aspect that to come in my journey. Then only I will taste success, or then only I will be happy. And when I'm happy, then I will be successful. But then that is an addiction. That, as you said rightly, then that is a greed, because happiness doesn't end anywhere. Happiness can come to you at any point, but doesn't have to be only money. Money does not give happiness. So some people relate happiness with success, and success with money, and happiness with money. What would you say on that as a as your own kind of journey?
Okay, so happiness to me, you can be wealthy but in different areas. You don't actually have to be wealthy with money. You
Mm,
can be wealthy with, really good friends and family around you who support
yeah,
you and, who love and care for you.
sure.
You can have a wealth of knowledge. You
Mm,
can have a wealth in the way of a really good skill set.
mm,
So I don't think that in that way,
mm.
um, you know,
Money.
you don't need money to be wealthy.
Mm. And you don't need money to be happy either.
No, no.
True. Mm. Because as we have seen, like, when you described about, like, there is money originates scammers.
Hmm.
And so if money is giving birth to scammers, then obviously there is something wrong with the money, because your well-being is affected, your thinking is affected, your mindset changes accordingly, and then you make yourself a commitment, and then you yourself put a lot of pressure to for that commitment.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the whole success or the whole well-being factor comes into picture. And as you rightly said, that money is not just the only thing which is associated with success or with happiness. Because as you said, like, wealthy can be knowledge, wealth can be knowledge, and that's the first part of as a human journey, I believe. As well, I agree with you 100% that knowledge is powerful. Knowledge is your wealth, and knowledge is something that is needed to be spread and made aware, basically. Then only like-minded people or every person may think about what is success and what is happiness, because everybody has got different way of putting it. However, kindness can be very rich. Humbleness, kindness, gratitude, all of these things we talk about, they are much, much better than money when it comes to success of a person or the success of a human, basically. Does that make sense?
Yes,
What
it
would
does.
you have it? Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you talk something about on those lines? Like, as you said, like, knowledge is first. Yes, correct. Which is more wealthy than money in the bank or paper money in the bank. Wealth, wealthiness. How
Yes.
you compare wealthiness?
So, you know, you don't have to have money to be wealthy. You really don't. And
Hmm.
you don't need to have money to be happy.
Hmm.
Money can't buy love.
True.
Money is just a physical thing that you use to,
Hmm.
to get the goods and services that you need. It's it should not have an emotional value or an emotional attachment attached to it.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. So do you think like just like when they say people talk about kindness, love, and gratitude, they are all unconditional. These are all.
Yes.
Whereas money comes with the conditions, isn't it? Whether you to buy goods or services or
Yeah.
whatever, it's a condition.
Yeah.
So talk about that something. Tell us
Okay.
how
So
do
yeah,
you do
money does come with the condition that if you have it, you should spend it, or
that?
you should put it away in the bank until such time as you've got enough money to buy whatever it is you want to buy.
Mm,
You know, there are people out there who marry rich people
mm.
just to get their money.
Just to get
That
them money. That's so true.
you
Hmm.
know, there are people in poor countries right now who are really happy.
Mm,
Why are they happy?
mm,
Because they don't have the burden of having to, go to work and earn money.
mm.
You know, they're happy within themselves. They know who they are. They have, they have great friends and family around them. Their health is good. They
Yeah,
think of others. You know,
true.
they're kind, caring, considerate. They don't need money to give them self worth and self value.
Right, right. Yeah, so self-worth, self-value is not never to be attached with money, really speaking, because self-worth, self-value is all about the one that you mentioned before was knowledge and wealthiness and all that kindness, humbleness, whatever, gratitude. That is all about, that's the main value of a human journey or of a human, because that's what we learn here and that's what we spread here. Whereas money is an attachment which we earn here, but then we leave it here only. We don't take it with us, or it
Well,
doesn't, or it doesn't go with us because it's a physical thing, as you said rightly.
yeah, yeah.
It's a
No,
phys-
we can't take it with us when we die.
yeah,
But what we can take with us when we die is the experiences we've had, the feelings that we've had,
Mm,
the knowledge
mm.
that we've gained.
Yeah, true. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, absolutely. So, in terms of like what in the current scenario, given the situation that most of the countries and the humans are everywhere they are, any part of the world, everybody is like grieving, struggling. Everybody's aiming to have more money or to have money in the bank to first to meet the expenses, which is skyrocketed, very high priced. And no matter how much money you earn, you still have to get those basic survival things that you need to buy, and you need to do that. But is money really still in the current world, because of the whole system that we are living in, that we have to earn to spend on basic things? Whereas in good old days or in those days, it was a bit different. But today, there are certain people, humans are bringing back. I saw that some pro bono services or exchange of services because nobody has got that much money, and nobody is now valuing your service or my service to a particular point or to a particular value of in terms of money. They just want the service, they just want the exchange of goods, and as long as they get it and you are able to exchange for them and they are able to exchange, that also is now considered and it's coming back to some extent and to large extent, just like, working from home.
Mm,
So now today, nobody is like, there are clocking in and clock outs. It used to be to value the money and to how much hours you have put in. But now when you work from home, you most of the people end up working more, and you don't know value, what's the value it is, whether it is the same value what it was before. But now nobody cares much in that sense, because they just want to deliver the services. They just want to deliver the exchange of services to that level, rather than looking at money and then exchanging.
mm.
So what's your view on that?
I do think that people are working more because they're working from home now, because people have devalued other people
Mm,
in that process. And so people are wanting to, like, companies are wanting to deliver more,
mm,
um, and they're also wanting to pay less to a point.
correct. Yeah.
And in that scenario, well, you have to think of, well, is it going to do anyone any good
Very good.
health
Yeah.
health wise
Hmm.
if you actually, you know, if you're overworked, if if you have a burnout because of, because your employer doesn't understand that you need to be taking your regular breaks,
Mm,
that that you need to get up and exercise, that you can't continue to be, at your computer stressed all the time.
true. True. Yeah. So, in terms of what would be your own experience that tells in the current scenario, that what a human journey that you have understood when it comes to money, and when it comes to attachments, or when it comes to increasing or growing money to gain happiness, to gain success, or to gain or just to survive, in that regard, how would you put yourself into that when it comes to comparison and comparable, all these attributes, whether value for money, self-worth, and all of that? How do you measure that, or what will be your mechanism to measure really when it comes to with money?
My mechanism is, okay, so yes, money is important to survive, but it's not important for me to, I don't, it's not who I am, it's not what I am,
Mm,
it's not where I'm at in life. I'd
mhm,
rather be happy with, a wealth of friends and family and knowledge.
mm,
I've unfortunately,
mm.
through running my own business and
Yeah.
through writing my book, I have been caught,
Mm,
I have been scammed a few times, and I've had to actually
mm,
um, try and get my money back.
mm. Sure.
And, you know, I think that there are a lot more scams out there now, which people need to be wary of. And
Mm,
I think that people, when it comes to scams, are still very naive
mm, mm,
in that aspect, because they do believe other people. You know, um, there are there are many different scams and many different types of people who actually do scam you. For example, I've basically been scammed for services to do with my book, and
mm,
writing it and getting it
mm.
published and edited and out there.
Yeah.
um, I've been scammed for, when I was building up my business by a business networking coach.
Right. Right.
um, you
Mm-hmm.
know when I was between jobs just before COVID had
Mm-hmm.
hit,
Mm-hmm.
um, I looked at another way to build passive income,
Mm,
which I looked at cryptocurrency. And
mm-hmm.
unfortunately,
Mm.
I got scammed for a lot of money. I was very fortunate to get that money back.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely. Unfortunate. Mm-hmm.
the thing is, though, there's no way of actually enforcing laws about scammers, because they can come in all shapes and sizes. They can,
True.
you can have a scammer living just across the street from you now, you know,
Right.
and they can run businesses,
Mm,
and they can be protected as a small business,
mm, mm.
and that's just the way that life is right now. I you know there are different, like, please, if you are going to buy goods and services from companies and people that you don't know, do your
Mhm.
research. you
Yeah.
know Research them on the internet, speak to people who have bought their services or their goods before.
Yeah.
Make sure that you have a solid understanding of what they do and what they provide, and
Mhm.
who they've done it to. Get reference checks. Do whatever it takes to actually make sure that you're not going to be scammed next. Even have a look at some governments actually have websites on the different
Mhm.
types of scams. Have
Yeah.
a look at that to see if
Mm.
maybe what you're looking at purchasing is a scam. But protect
Absolutely.
yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that. So in terms of, like, the scammers, and as we know that money is such a thing where we have made it more than human values. The value of money has overtaken the human value, human life. And so human life is all become more stressed or more depressed is because of one aspect called money. And as if, like, in the mind there is only money, there is nothing else. And even if we have so many things in our mind, but we just overshadow all that, and we just look into money as a thing. And then if money is not there, then we just say we don't have anything. So there are certain kind of conclusions have happened in the recent times. And also this there are people who, as you said, like, charities are done and they feel good about it, so they earn money but then they spend. So they know why they are earning money. They are not earning money to hold or to hoard or to keep it in front of them. So the well-being factor, I believe, is a human journey, is more important than anything else. And your well-being factor doesn't have to be money or money. I In my world, I give less importance to money, because the more important is, yes, first thing is, you don't know whether you will earn money, but you want to earn money, right? But you know that you can be good person. You know that you can use good humbleness and kindness. You don't need anything for that, basically. You don't need to create anything for that. You just, it's there in everyone, basically. We just have to find out what's there in it. So so for me now, in terms of, I want to ask you, this is going to be very, very interesting for our listeners to understand. So we talked about how value for money or over everyone, and then scams, and then what's our well-being factor, and all of that that we can understand through this money. But here is the final thing that I wanted to ask Lynette is, we talk about money as a success, or as a, I want to talk money as our survival, because you said that, okay, we want to expend our costs, basic costs.
Hmm.
So is money necessary for survival? Is money is the only thing that is necessary for survival? Because I remember you said money is just one part of it, but there are friends, families, values that you need them. That time you not need money, but you need these people, because these are the people, or these are the things that
Yeah.
make a human journey more exciting or more blissful in that sense.
Yeah. So,
So is money necessary for survival?
only to pay the bills. Okay. Um, if the government actually changed the entire system around the world
Mm-hmm.
of, how we live, for
Yeah.
example, if they actually provided, free education, free utilities,
Mm-hmm.
free living arrangements, then
mm,
there would be no need for money at all,
mm.
right?
Right. Mhm.
Um, the fact of the matter is, though, because I think a lot of governments out there are actually um, they're in debt right now,
Mm,
right? COVID's come along, and they've had to pay money to people
mm.
because they've been out of work because of COVID and disaster recovery and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
And a lot of people have been laid off
yeah,
from their jobs because of COVID, and
mm,
a lot of businesses have shut down.
yeah, absolutely.
So yet again, if the government actually changed the entire system
Mm,
to where they provided for us rather than us having to earn money and pay taxes to them,
mhm,
I think it would be a far better system.
mm, mm,
We wouldn't actually have that attachment
mm.
to money as such. We
Right.
would be putting more of our self worth and self value
But yeah.
into ourselves, our relationships,
Mm,
gaining the
mm,
knowledge that we have.
mm. Yeah, so true. Because I think what has happened with this system in the current system that we are living in, and whenever it was formed many years ago, it was formed, but it started changing from one to other. But now the concentration of wealth or concentration of money is in few hands, and they are the ones who are not actually making money, but in my world, they are actually taking money from the other ones who have been deprived of their part or of their share or of their entitlement. So it's about when people make money, I don't say that they make money, they actually take money. So the good saying, one of the American in the politicians diplomat, she said these words that money, people don't make money, they take money. And what she meant by that, by paying less to the workers, by paying very, very minimal to the workers, by getting contracts through references and governments, and then, just, buying the contracts basically, so
Mm-hmm.
they can earn money out of that basically. So they are not actually making, but they are taking money from different parts. So whether it is wages, whether it is contracts, whether it is not paying to someone, whether it is scamming, and all of that then accumulates to one person, so much money, that other people who are not good in doing all of that, or who doesn't have a heart to do all of that, they just are deprived basically. And they fell, they remain there only. Whereas though other people, they have the money, but we don't go there to see whether they are happy or not, or whether they are successful or not. Because eventually everyone's lives gets caught up in the spiritual journey. Eventually everyone has to, whatever they have earned, they have to give back here only before they disappear. They can't take it with them. So, in that sense, I want to have your final say on this when it says that money is necessary for survival. For all the listeners who may think, yeah, money is needed for survival, but because of the system that we are having currently. Now, is the system correct, good, bad? We don't know. Let's not dwell on that, but everyone has got their opinion on that. However, everybody needs to understand what is they need and what is the necessary things they need for their survival. Is it money, or is it something else? And even if it's money or everything of everything, what is the priority? How much is the percentage that you need money out of that? And what is the bigger percentage that you need other than money to their survival? Because survival is not just money. Because money is again an attachment. So, and it's an accumulation of attachments. So you can keep accumulating as long as you are alive, as long as you want to. Nobody's going to stop you for that. But I think survival should not be dependent on the accumulation. Accumulation is greed, accumulation is addiction, just like any other addictions and just like any other greed, money is taken that role of greed. Does that make sense, Lynette? What do you think on that?
Yeah, it does. And you know what? I don't think that we would have wars if money wasn't around.
Mm.
You know,
Oh, that's
because
true.
wars start
Yeah, I
from
agree.
the greed of money.
Mm, mm,
You know, and so I do think that if the system has, you know, if the system does change
yeah.
and we are provided with the basic essentials
Mm,
of life,
mm,
then I think everyone would be a lot more happier. I think there'd be a lot less greed
yeah,
and a lot less wars happening around the world.
yeah,
I think we'd be at peace, and therefore we'd also be a lot more healthier holistically. So that's spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally, a
mm,
lot more healthier and happier.
yeah. So I'm coming back to the last question, which we last mentioned is the spiritual way of living, or what is money in terms in the language of spirituality? How would you say money contributes, if at all money has is a part of this human journey? Obviously we are all spirits, so our spiritual journey has got this called money. But when it comes to actually implementing, creating, or acting on it in the spiritual way, how would money, because I've seen there are so many spiritual beings who have foregone, or who have forgotten, or who have forgiven, and who have actually like sacrificed money, and they are there. For them money is not the wealth. Even after earning and even after having education and knowledge, they don't give importance to money, so they become like more spiritual awakening, and they are spreading more spiritual way of living. So what's the money part? How would you say that every human should look at in a spiritual way of using money or utilizing money, just the way, like in spiritual we say, help each other or support each other, or self-awareness of yourself first, so that you can give your awareness to others, and you can resonate your awareness with others in the spiritual way. Just like that, you may have money, but if you spread that money to others and think about it, how much is good enough for you, how much is enough for you, rather than how much you can accumulate. What do you think on that?
I think that's correct, actually. I do think that we need to put more importance in our own well being,
Mm,
especially our spiritual well being,
yeah.
because, as I said before, you can't take money with you when you die.
Mm,
You know, all you can take with you is your experiences, you know, your knowledge,
yeah.
and, you know, the feelings that you have.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. So, with that note, very good, very well said. Your experiences, your knowledge, and your feelings is that what matters, not money. Because
Yeah.
money is just another part of your furniture or a materialistic thing, which has been created by humans for our survival, or for our amusement, or for our whatever addiction it is there. But the sooner, the more better, the sooner you realize as a spiritual soul that the awareness is there within you, that what is good in terms of, or what is bad in terms of emotional well-being or spiritual well-being. That's where the human journey actually will be more supportive and helpful to all the humans, and for our better evolvement, rather than concentration of wealth and concentration and inequalities that we have seen so much because of money. We have seen inequalities could be in different shape and form, whether it's discrimination or whatever people call about. However, money is the main divider of the whole issue. When it comes to discrimination, when it comes to other bits, division of whatever groups you call it, it's designed and defined by money, and that's incorrect, and that's not the best way of human journey. With that note, I want to ask you, Lynette, what's your final message to all our listeners after this topic, money syndrome, that we did today? I was really, really touched with a lot of things. And particularly, I take away that last word that you said was feelings, awareness, feelings, experiences, and knowledge. This is what we take with us. We don't take any material things with us, but this is what we live with it and we take with it. And this is what matters most than anything else. Because knowledge is what we can spread, feelings is we can spread, and also, as you said rightly, experiences is the exploration, and spiritual journey is all about experiences, and we are here to experience. So money is just another part of experience. What's your final message to audiences?
My final message is that money isn't who you are.
Mm,
In that, what I mean is you you need to explore your relationship with yourself if you're finding that you are putting a lot of value into having money.
mm,
If you find that you think um, you're successful because you have money, you
yeah.
need to be looking inside at your own relationship with yourself,
Mm, mm,
because that's not who you are. That's not the journey that you're on in life.
mm,
You know, um, so you need to be improving that relationship with yourself and with others, and spread a little kindness to
mm,
others. You know,
yeah.
not everyone is as fortunate as we are.
True.
You know, some people live in poor countries,
Yes.
and you know they're perfectly happy because
Mm,
they're healthy. They've
mm,
got friends around them. They've got family around them. You know,
mm,
they have a good. You know, they just live life day by day rather than actually
yeah.
having money to sort of move them forward. They move themselves forward through who they are.
Mm. I think very well said. And finally, I would like to conclude this with one of my favorite that I keep saying, that ignorance is good, ignorance is blissful, innocence is good, innocence is blissful, but less access is also the most powerful thing, because the more access you have, the more your desires increase, and the more desires, the more choices that you have, you can easily get restricted or get addicted to one choice, because you think you have got so many choices. In reality, everybody has got abundance choices. However, what you choose and what you do is what is matters, and that's why what you said rightly is self-awareness is very important. So when you are making yourself aware about your surroundings and things, your accesses and your opportunities and your choices to do some things, that's where you have to make an informed or a very conscious choice, that you have to self-awareness is very important. So with that note, I think, yeah, the more you have access, the more you want to have more. The more you want to have more is not bad or good, but that's where your emotional well-being kicks in, because your mind gets completely out of your control. And when it goes out of your control, there is only mind can control you. Then you don't control your mind. But humans are so powerful. Mind is there only, and you have been given the power to control. However, you let others to control you, and that's where the whole problem, I guess, comes in my world. That's what I see it as. What do you think? Do you agree with that, Lynette?
I do because those that have more money have more control.
Yes.
Whereas if you look at a different angle,
Mm,
um, you know, if you've built up your relationship with yourself spiritually, emotionally, and mentally,
yeah.
then you have self respect, you have self confidence, and you have self love, which are
Mm,
the three most important gifts that you can give yourself
mm.
in life. And that will get you a lot further than what money will.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, final word on the money syndrome. Should we call it money syndrome? Should we call it money mask? Or should we call it money addiction? Or should we call it just another way of attachment? Is this money syndrome that when we say this topic, is it like more like a sickness or is it more like something that we are running after without any knowledge about what it will do to us? We just run after it, you know? What would you conclude that?
I think a lot of people just go after it because it's there because they think it will give them power and happiness.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, very well said that. Yeah, because that's what people, humans need. But they don't understand whether power or whether control or whether happiness is defined by money or there are so many other things in life that we are giving unnecessarily too much importance to money rather than all the other things that we have got, which doesn't need money, which doesn't need to be created, but it's all in there within you. You just have to find it. Money, you have to create it. And that's why the final thing is like, money can money can create certain things. Money can create, but if you don't have time, then you can't create anything. The time is more important than just money creating, right? So you can create lots of things through money, but you can't create time with money. And that's the bottom line. Time is running out. Don't try to create something that is running out. It is just going and passing. So I think more important is time. So what you do now is more important than what you are going to do with money, because money is just like an imagination of future, that you want happiness, that you want power, that you want control. And until it gets, you are losing so much time for things that you can do with without money. That's what I think. Focus should be more on those things without money rather than with money. In my simple language, what I understood, Lynette.
Yeah,
Yeah, does that make sense?
it does. Yeah.
Cool. Thank you so much once again, Lynette, for doing this topic. And we would love to have you back on this particular topic to extend and elaborate on this for the listeners. But listeners, you can also write questions that you think, what do you like most about this topic today? Or what do you think should have been in your world or in your view that you think is money is all about this and money is important to you, or money is not important to you, or where do you put money in your life journey, and where do you want to put money in your life journey? So just like Lynette said, your relations, your friends, your family, your other bits and pieces of your journey that are more important, and that will give you more success or happiness rather than money. I end up with that note that please do write to us. We will be giving Lynette's contact details and her emails to give your questions and feedback. And we would love to also receive all questions from you. And if you can expect good answers or whatever resonate that you can be through this topic. So once again, thanks very much to all the listeners and viewers. And thank you very much, Lynette, for doing this topic today. Absolutely a pleasure. And we would love to see you back in this continuing episodes.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
Thank you so much. Bye for now.